Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Golden Gates. FNMs. Color Red has come to Golden Gates. Papa has come to ask you to vote for Vincent Miller. I'm proud to be here tonight, on this International Women's Day. I had a luncheon today for all 9 of our female candidates. We discussed many issues important to the women and commented on the fact that so many more women are supporting the FNM than are supporting the PLP or any other party. The FNM is the party for women in the Bahamas. You know, like everything else, the PLP talk a lot about women and caring about you, but when it comes to delivering, it's the FNM that delivers for women. Now, Golden Gates, it's time once again for Golden Gates to retire Shane Gibson from politics. The same Shane Gibson that Perry Christie went on TV with to hold his hands and cry when he was exiting Perry Christie's government. At housing, Dr. Sands told you he left a legacy of building substandard housing for people who can't afford to waste a single dollar on their hard-earned money. At immigration, his record will be forever tied to his providing personal, one-on-one service to speed up an immigration matter for a celebrity. I want you in Golden Gates to be like my constituents in North Abaco, whom I've represented in the House now for nearly 35 years, come this June. They can go anywhere in the Bahamas or anywhere in the world, and people can ask them, who is your MP? And they can stand up straight with pride and say, Hubert Ingraham. Love him or hate him. You got to respect him. Respect is what he's earned. His life work earned that. Golden Gates, put yourself in that same position. Be proud of your MP. Don't let there be any snickering or sneering at the mention of your MP's name. Let your MP be an honorable, trustworthy, hard-working, dedicated, decent, loyal MP for you. Now, you know, the bell ain't ring yet, and the PLP already in meltdown. In government, they were an abysmal failure. In opposition, they are reckless, deceptive, and desperate. Did you see their behavior in the House of Assembly today?
That can't be right.
They are terrified to let the truth come out. They constructed a web of exaggerations and mistruths, and they want that to be the only record on the road program. Well, we are dedicated to telling you the truth. They do not want you to know, and listen to me, they don't want you to know that the New Providence Road Improvement Project could have been continued in 2002 and could have been completed for just $56 million. They don't want you to know that that job could have been finished for $56 million. At the time they were in office, the price of oil, cement, plastic were lower. In fact, the price was just about $21 a barrel for oil. Today, it's over $100, more than 5 times more.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. They don't want you to know that because of their wheeling and dealing, they could not attract a single reputable international company to bid on the road program. They went to bid on 2 separate occasions and no one came. No one. Can you imagine that in a meeting with the Minister of Public Works, Bradley Roberts, discussing the bid intention of the government for the road program, that in that meeting was somebody whose name is Funky Demerit. Now, Funky is listed in the minutes of that in the report of that meeting as an assistant. But all of us know that Funky Demerit is a political operative who was nearer to Perry Christie than a brother.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. They fall out now. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that when that company that was carrying the work out on the road went into receivership, there was $34 million left in a $52 million contract, that the contract had $16 million in cash advance and performance bond was available to add to the $34 million, and that they could have completed the road for another $6 million, and it would have been finished 6 or 7 years ago. It wouldn't have to wait for me to come back to office to finish the job. They don't want you to know, they do not want you to know, that the government had a performance bond of $7.8 million, which it could and should have called in. They don't want you to know because of their incompetence, their tardiness, when they finally decided to call in the performance bond, valued at $7.8 million, they discovered they had missed the deadline. The time had passed. Late again. Oops! Oops, there goes our $7.8 million because of the incompetence of Perry Christie and his government. They don't want you to know they lack leadership. And then Perry Christie has the nerve to call the New Providence Road Improvement Project an unmitigated disaster. The only disaster we had was him. I want you to know, I'm dead serious about this. Perry is too risky to place the future of our country in his hands. This is a risk I caution you very seriously not to take, for your own sake and that of your own children. They are desperate because the numbers are telling them that they are fast losing ground. Don't be distracted from your mission. They are very provokeful people. We beat them before, they ain't learned their lesson then, but they can learn this time and we beat them again. They will do nearly anything to win because they care for themselves above everyone and are against all else. They break the rules. They sow disorder in the land because their own selfish needs are more important than your interests. Instead of upholding law and order and caring about the economy, they encourage a handful of customs and immigration officers to break their contract of employment and seek to hold the entire country hostage. They didn't care about how these actions could hurt the economy or give the country a bad name. They didn't care about the Bahamians or tourists who had to stand in line for hours at LPIA. Christie was encouraging immigration officers to abandon their posts and hurt the country's interests during a peak arrival period. They didn't care about all this happening as reporters from around the world were coming here to report on an important visit to the country. They are prepared to sink the country, hurt Bahamians in their greedy quest for power. This morning in the House of Assembly, they kept disrupting the order of the House. No worry, many of them are in their last days in that House of Assembly, I tell you that. Christie says that the PLP didn't boycott the opening of the stadium, you know. Of course, his parliamentary colleagues say otherwise. I suppose he forgot to consult with Fred Mitchell before he made that statement. Because Fred finished telling the entire Bahamas that the PLP boycotted the opening. This election, ladies and gentlemen, is about leadership. Perry Christie can't lead his own party, much less this country. And that was very clear between 2002 and 2007. Fred Mitchell didn't listen to him. Bradley Roberts ignored him. Leslie Miller, Shane Gibson, Alfred Gray showed no respect for him as leader. And we know Little Brave plotting and scheming to take over. Hovering at his coattail, nothing has changed. They all behave in exactly the same way now, you know. Perry might as well be speaking if that wind they used to talk about was blowing, you know. He can't maintain law and order in his own party, much less in the country. He was unquestionably an abysmal failure when it came to improving the criminal justice system so we can get these criminals off these streets. By the way, I see Leslie Miller having some more to say nowadays. You know, I thought they were hiding Leslie and Shane because I thought they were somewhere in the PLP Witness Protection Program.
That's my papa.
That's right. You know, when we came to office in 2007, there were only 2 Supreme Court judges dealing with criminal cases in Nassau. Today there are 5, and 1 in Grand Bahama, for a total of 6. We are still dealing with a backlog of cases that have been piling up for years, and which increased without ceasing on the PLP's last watch. The only swift thing about their term dealing with the courts was their swift talk. In the FNM we fight crime with more police, more judges and more resources. In the PLP they try to fight crime through empty promises and talk. In fact, if you could fight crime with talk, we just have to let Perry talk and talk all day long. The Supreme Court now has 2 assigned judges, full-time, to deal with new cases before the court. That is cases that date back to 2010 and today. And they're working wonderfully well. Just last year, 5 serious cases involving murder, attempted murder, rape and armed robbery were all tried and disposed of within the calendar year in which the event took place. From date of the crime, the investigation, the arrest and charge of the accused, to the hearing of the case, conviction, sentencing of the accused, all completed in 1 year. Now that's what I call swift justice. The Supreme Court has also assigned 1 judge to deal with retrials, that is, cases sent back for retrial by the Court of Appeal. And that judge is not fully occupied, he's assigned cases from backlog. And 2 judges are assigned to hear only backlog cases. That is, cases hearing before, occurring before January 2010, and they can go back to 2005, 2004, whatever year it is, they are still being heard. Every time we come to office, we have to improve less, we have to prove what they were left behind. What they failed to do on their crime watch, we have to do. And the fight is going to take some time. This is a fight that only the FNM will wage and only the FNM can win. They're very good at talking about how much they feel for you, you know. They're just not good about actually doing anything for you. You know how many households that have electricity supply cut that have been restored because of our initiative? 4,148 homes now have lights because of our initiative. We look after your interests. Golden Gates, FNMs. The leader of the opposition came here to Golden Gates. He tell everyone, in only the way he can, we won the election about big things, he says. If you want to see big things, come see this big crowd of people down here in Golden Gates. Come and see the surge of color red in Golden Gates.
Color red, it's on the move. Color red, it's on the move.
We get big crowds and we ain't got to bust nobody. You all got your own stand.
Color red, it's on the move.
You know, Golden Gates, Golden Gates, you were created, you became a constituency back in 1992. You voted for the FNM twice, in 92 and again in 97. And you voted for the PLP twice, 2002 and 2007. We each had 2 terms, the PLP and the FNM. I dare say, it's our turn now. There are 166,000 registered voters in the Bahamas today. That's some 16,000 more registered voters than were registered in the last election. Now, our population hasn't grown that much, though. The increase comes about as a result of the organized, orderly, and timely fashion in which voters are being registered. No surprise announcements, no shock announcements, no rushing to try it and getting it at the last minute. And with all our preparations, there still remains some cleaning up of that register to take place. Some people's names still appearing 2 times. Some are registered in the wrong constituency, sometimes by mistake and sometimes not by mistake. I want to encourage anyone who is persuaded to register in a constituency in which they do not live to go and change their registration now, starting with North Andros. There is time, it is not too late. You don't have to have the law come down on you to make you do right. Do the right thing. I also want to remind you, if you moved out of the constituency where you lived when you registered for 3 months or more, but less than 6 months, you may choose whether you're going to vote in the old constituency or the new one. But if you've been living outside the constituency in which you are registered to vote for 6 months or more, you must change your registration to your new address, or you're not going to be able to vote. We don't want any carpetbaggers, and we don't want any planted voters in this election, regardless of what your political affiliation is. We want a clean election. We want you to vote where you live, not where you don't live. We are inviting the world to come and observe our elections. We want the world to see that we can run clean, fair elections in the Bahamas. And we call upon you, the citizens of the Bahamas, to help us do that, and not to allow any political grouping or party or candidate to cause you to do foolishness. Because when you have to stand up before the man, he say, are you guilty or not guilty? Not a single politician can be anywhere around. You're going to be there by your lonesome self. And don't call me, because Papa ain't coming.
That's my Papa.
Golden Gates. When Yellow Miller went to Yamacraw a couple of weeks ago, they saw the numbers. They panicked. Dion folks in Colorado got Yamacraw. After Colorado went to North Andros with Desmond Bannister, Yellow Miller got scareder and scareder. So had to fly in everybody and their brother. They're afraid of Desmond Bannister, you know. So they flew in a dame and a bishop to support a pawn who really don't have a clue about North Andros. Papa and Desmond done checkmate that move. North Andros gone FNM.
Color red, it's on the move.
Desmond only got the numbers to win. He got their number. You're going to hear more about all that skullduggery they're trying to play in North Andros very soon.
For true?
They're true. In Exuma, the people shouting, Morse done lost. Fenton Moore and Colorado is marching to victory in the Exumas and Ragged Island. And Loretta gonna keep Long Island because Long Island is FNM.
Color red, it's on the move. Color red, it's on the move.
And don't mind Alfred Gray telling you lies, but he got Inagua locked down, Mayaguana locked down, Crooked Island locked down, and the FNM going to get 4 votes in Acklands. But his biggest general, in Salina Point. Stephen Rose just called me before I left home tonight, reminding me that they are with me. Alfred Green got nothing locked down McCall. We would have been in Agua, we've been in Maguana, we've been in Crooked Island, and we will break even in Acklands. I tell you that. McCall is going to be FNM. You know, Perry said he wants this election to be about big things. I like that. He must mean, I'm going to Surrey Lutra soon. Going to Cat Island soon too. I'll report when I come back. I'm going to give a report of where I've been. No hearsay. First-hand evidence I give. So Perry said he wants his election to be about big things. He must mean big things like that new national stadium they couldn't build. Or big things like the Independent International Airport they couldn't build. Oh. Or big things like a new straw market, a whole new road system, the new port at Iwaki, and the 11,000 ordinary Bahamians who now own shares in the port. Some that only belong to the Simonets, the Kellys, the Farringtons, and all them Bay Street people. 11,000 of us now own it. Plus the rest of the Bahamas, because between the government and you, the people, we together own 60% of the port. We are the majority owners. Those days ago, you know, they were telling us that the things we did were just things, that they weren't important because they didn't help people. Now it's clear that all those big things were done by the FNM to make life better for Bahamian people. Now they start shifting gear. Now they want to talk about big things, let them talk. They're good at that. They're not good at anything else. I heard Perry Christie on the TV tonight telling Long Island that if we weren't doing the road in Nassau, we would have had money to give them for scholarships to their children. And I sometimes wonder whether Perry ever stopped to listen to himself. I think he just talk. I don't think he listens to himself. Because he said we couldn't give them scholarships because we were building the road and squandering the money. But we gave $25 million in scholarship and we were building the roads. He ain't building no bloody road and he only spent $5. I wonder what he was doing with the money. You know, it is the FNM that produces big things for you, like the drug benefit, like unemployment insurance, like a shareholding society. They can't even do small things, much less big things. You know, Perry Gomez said in North Andrews that if elected, the PLP would introduce national health insurance in 1 year. Now, you know, these people really think we're stupid, you know. And I feel insulted when they tell me such stupid things. They had 5 years. He was the chairman of the committee. They didn't deliver it in 5 years. Now you want us to believe they could do it in 1 year? Child, please.
You joking.
They're joking. If you want catastrophic health insurance, vote FNM. Because neither Perry Christie nor Perry Gomez will deliver it for you. There'll be another doctor in the house next time after the election. That doctor's going to be Dwayne Sands. Oh. And he'll join the other doctor we got, the Dr. Hubert Ingraham. And those doctors will work for you and deliver for you. And I saw the newspaper headlines this morning telling business people impacted by the roadworks that the PLP will fix their cash problem. I saw one of them, Mr. Rupert Roberts, who owns Super Value. I always remember him. When I was in House of Assembly during the 80s, and he couldn't get a shop license for his food store down Cable Beach, Super Value, had to go to Pinland and beg to get a shop license, every Bahamian is entitled to have. And he wanted to talk to me about how they were treating him. I had to agree to fly to Miami, to meet him in the Omni Hotel, downstairs, stand up in the corner, watching every time some Bahamian pass, ducking. Don't want nobody see him talking to me, but telling me all the things they're doing to him. Now he got voice, he's a big man. Thank you, Rupert. Be a big man. We gave you the freedom to be able to open shops anywhere in the Bahamas, and you ain't got to beg the Prime Minister for anything. But I just want him and the rest of them to know that if they believe the PLP in their cash deal, they must have a chat with the people who had the sea haulers victims. Now, when they came in that day at the hospital, every PLP minister in town was around the hospital, just like a doctor and a nurse. Oh, we're so sorry for these people. They got hurt, blah, blah, blah. Talking on the radio all day. And when it was finished, nothing. The boy had to go down to Christie's house to try to handcuff him on the gate, to try to get something. Still ain't got nothing. I just thought I would try to help enlighten them on PLP promises. Promises is comfort to a fool. This election, ladies and gentlemen, is about the kind of leadership needed to deliver big things for you, as the FNM has done the past 5 years. We have even bigger plans for you next time. We are completing our agenda in the House of Assembly now. Today we completed answering every single question asked by the opposition, just as we pledged to do in Manifesto 07. We are making ready for that day. We have provided you with 5 years of scandal-free, honest government. They can't even lie on us and say we're crooked, because we ain't for that. Next year, in 2013, we're going to celebrate 40 years of independence. 10 years later, in 2023, we're going to celebrate our Golden Jubilee as a sovereign nation. 10 years is not a very long time. We're already past the first decade of the 21st century. But losing a decade can be very costly. Even losing a half a decade, 5 years, like we did during the Christie years, can be very costly indeed. And time and tide may wait for no man. Even as we celebrate our 40th, we must prepare for our 50th as a sovereign people. And as I said, when you first become a parent, you start thinking in decades. When you become a papa, you start thinking in generations.
That's my papa.
On our return to office, we will launch Bahamas Jubilee. Bahamas Jubilee will be a 10-year national plan for development of the Bahamas. We'll begin a national consultation process at every level of society to build on the progress we've made as a country, as well as meet the challenges of today and tomorrow. There will be a national commission to plan for Bahamas Jubilee with a unit in the Office of the Prime Minister to facilitate this process. Bahamas Jubilee will consult widely about our national goals and priorities over the next 10 years, leading to our 50th anniversary of independence. Don't worry, I won't be around then, but I can plan for it. The planning process will also include reviewing some of the many plans that have already been devised in various areas of national life. There will be great effort made to include young people in the visioning and planning process. We'll also tap into the talented pool of Bahamians overseas to help us plan our future. Every Bahamian island will be included in the process. The FNM has always delivered for you. We want to help deliver an even brighter future for you and the next generation of Bahamians. We are the party of vision and the party of action. And we must start to plan for our Golden Jubilee now. Golden Gates, FNMs. Nobody knows the time nor the hour when the rupture might come. But Papa knows when the bell gonna ring. Register to vote if you haven't done so yet. Pick up your voter's card if you haven't done so yet. Time draweth nigh. The bell gonna soon ring a ting-ling-ling. When election day comes down in Golden Gates, I want you to vote for me, vote for the FNM, vote for Vincent Miller. I want you to know that we have the better record. We have the better team, we have the better vision. We are the party that you ought to vote for because we made you good. We are dead serious about that. We are not play people. Don't fool with Shane and Perry. They can bring you shame again. Thank you very much. Good night.